You, human beings of Earth, find the path to a positive and life-affirming consciousness in which you will finally truly live your life and start to form your future in love, peace, wisdom, freedom and harmony, because in spite of the threatening disaster, you have the possibility and opportunity to do so. The universe itself, in an interaction with your Earth, gives you the impulse for reorientation, and through this you can find a loving balance in the human sphere that will also lead you to equality and equal rights in the mutual complementation of man and woman. And, if you use the opportunity that has been given to you in all things, then you will once more achieve the entire prosperity of life in the new age of Aquarius and in the third millennium, after having missed it for very long. For millennia, you have been striving for a development of harmony, love, peace, freedom and dwelling together in concord, and all of these things are ideally suited to bringing regulation to all things on earth. And if you follow this compulsion laid down by the laws of creation, then you will step out of the darkness of degeneracy and into an unparalleled brighter era. However, bear in mind that this will only happen if you are ready to accept the great gift offered to you by your Earth, the entire universe and the creational laws and recommendations. You yourself bear witness to your bright future, and yet all of you, you human beings of Earth, you must do your part in this and use your own means of love, peace, harmony and freedom to fight for everything in order to break out of the darkness. However, you will only be able to do this if the recognition awakes in you of everything that the creational laws and recommendations have to offer you, and if you learn and follow these, as you have been taught by the Goblet of Truth and the teaching of truth, the teaching of spirit, the teaching of life, as has been given since time immemorial by the true prophets. If you human beings of Earth search for the creational laws and recommendations that form creational harmony and goodness, with intellect and rationality and with your intuition, you will find them everywhere. You will recognize and understand them at every turn, whether in the bubbling of a spring, in the face of a human being, in a flower, in the sounds of the forest or the sea, in the glinting of the sun, the twinkling of the stars, in the eyes of an animal or in any other things that exist everywhere. And if you human beings of Earth make yourselves once again capable of linking this new and yet primeval truth in all forms with all real forms of life, then you will be able to tread a holistic path in the consciousness of truth. Look to the future with this in mind and with great courage, and in spite of the terrible setbacks in the past, the present and the future to come. If you follow the instruction for your change to the good and the positive, then you can seize the opportunity for a new start and connect it to the requirements of life, and in this way you will solve many of humanity's current problems once and for all, and indeed in a peaceful, harmonious and constructive way. Heal yourself and your world, then you will find your deliverance in the form of the rebirth of your sound and reasonable consciousness. Heal yourselves, you human beings of Earth, you women and men, because then the message of love, freedom and harmony as well as of peace and living together in harmony will no longer remain a great and auspicious dream for you, but will become truth and reality. Then, namely, it will come about for you that you will bring forth new and good deeds, thoughts and feelings as well as endlessly rich life experiences, turning your life into true happiness. Remember that the weaker all the evil, negative and degenerative forces become in you, the more profound will be the correction and resolution of the fatal incorrect developments in your thoughts and feelings as well as in your actions and behavior, and they will cease to determine your lives and your evil destinies. Admittedly, it is still the case that very many of you human beings of Earth who wish to follow the truth of creational laws and recommendations will still need to overcome very many and very significant obstacles. However, remember that all true prophets had to face and overcome challenges of this kind, and as they were able to do so, then it is also possible for you providing you have the volition to do so. Semyasa Silver Star Center, 10 August 2008, 1:17 a.m. Billy. What must be made known comprehensively in a prophetic and predictive way for the third millennium if you human beings of Earth do not turn to the truth of creation and its laws and recommendations in what is now the third millennium, if you do not turn to better and good things and do not follow the true rules of life as they exist in the creational laws and recommendations, then all evil events of all kinds will broaden in ever-worsening succession. The creational natural laws and recommendations are written in the Goblet of Truth and in the spiritual teaching, which is the teaching of truth, the teaching of spirit, the teaching of life, which it is of vital importance to follow. However, if you human beings continue to fail to follow the creational laws and recommendations, evil and catastrophes of all kinds which have existed all over Earth for a long time will increase in future into much more evil excrescences. And if you do not change for the better, for good and the best, all evil over the world will take a much worse form than it has done for decades and also does at present, and the coming events will be such as the world has never experienced up to the current time, nor lived, nor seen. A change for the better, for good and the best can only occur, however, if you human beings of Earth think and act rightly and rationally from now on and into the future, and this principally applies to your rulers and other mightful people who have to lead you as a people to the best and for goodness. This thinking and acting which is full of rationality is also demanded from every individual in your entire humanity as well as from you as such in your entirety. And success can only come about if your thoughts are rightly cared for and deeds are determined and performed rightly, indeed in accordance with the urgency of the necessity for change. However, if this change is not tackled and carried through, then it is unavoidable and inevitable that the prophecies will come true, as is the case with the predictions that are firm with regard to their fulfillment and which will certainly turn into an evil reality. Overall in all things of your present existence as human beings of Earth, a change for the better, for good and the best is unavoidable if everything is still to develop ultimately into something of good worth after all. However, if this change is not started and carried through, then do not be surprised if nothing turns to the better, for good and the best, but the negative, bad and evil things are fulfilled, as has been prophetically stated although without being specifically called prophecies so that it is not possible for you to differentiate between prophecy and prediction for the important reason that not only individual factors are seized for change, but entirely everything of all circumstances. And this must be the case, because given a true effort, it is only possible to bring about the better, good and the best through an all-encompassing change, providing everything is taken into account extensively. Therefore, the following prophetic and predictive words are to be stated finally by me, Billy Beam, as the last proclaimer in the line of 7 of Enoch. With the third millennium, you human beings of Earth have passed from the darkness of the last 2 millennia into the gloom of what is for you an impenetrable labyrinth of false modes of behavior, and already in the 20th century you have brought about all kinds of evil and are continuing to create and cultivate the same, which had brought disaster over you, nature and the planet to an incalculable extent and will continue to do so. Your greed for profit, you human beings of Earth, is continuing to abound more and more, and the people in power in your world are casting your populations of all states into ever deeper misery, making self-aggrandizing and megalomaniacal decisions over your heads and taking all the power of determination away from you as a people. Everything is a matter of might and money, and from now on everything will become worse in this regard, as will catastrophes of all kinds in nature, in the climate and amongst you human beings, caused by the breakneck speed of population growth which had become uncontrollable overpopulation,